Hey guys and gals, how y'all doing out there today? If you're like me, you probably like this knife right here. This is the Kershaw Blur. I mean, it's an absolute bestseller from Kershaw. You've odds are owned one of these knives if you're a knife guy. They've done different blade steels, they've done different blade shapes, they've done different handle colors, different insert materials. I mean, they've done a lot with this knife. It's been in their catalog for quite a while, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. It gets a lot of love online, it gets a lot of love from me, but there are still some things that I would change about it, and it was enough to kind of, I don't want to say I stopped carrying it, but it maybe gets carried less often now. One thing is, I like kind of really aggressive jimping. This doesn't have it. It's a very short run, it's not very sharp, and it doesn't do it for me. For EDC, fine, but yeah, no, it's for how often I guess I actually need a tactical blade, which is I've never needed one. I guess it's okay, but you know. But I also like to have a nice big finger guard or choil here. It's not very deep, and it feels like you could slide if you had to do a stabbing motion, again, because I stab people so often. But it doesn't do it for me. The TrackTech inserts definitely help, but I always worry about sliding forward. But I was going through Kershaw's website trying to find something that is very similar construction and just something that is like the Blur but isn't the Blur and has what I wanted. Well, I wasn't finding it, and then all of a sudden I came across a Nut and Fancy review of this knife right here. This is the Kershaw Dash. It turns out I looked at this knife a very long time ago. Only difference is it had a big Snap-on logo there. I knew back then, even back then, that if you're buying a knife that's made by a tool company, odds are it's going to probably be a piece of junk. I hate to be that way, but a lot of the tool companies, they put out these bargain little pocket knives to just throw in your cart. It's like, oh, I need a new knife. Well, they just suck most of the time. So I didn't buy it. But Blade HQ did an exclusive with Kershaw. It is now brought back on the Kershaw name, not Snap-on. And like I said, now that I know it was made by Kershaw, I would have bought one of these years ago. But I have it now. This is a very good knife, made in America, just like the Blur. Has a decent blade steel. Is still affordable. That's why I love Kershaw. They make some things that just kind of make sense. So let's go over the knife and we'll talk about it and see what it fixes here. Has a lanyard post. It doesn't have a lanyard hole. Some people have been saying that you can't put a lanyard on it. You can. If you look in there, there's a spot. Your lanyard will not get cut by the blade. There's plenty of room, so you should be fine there. My favorite Kershaw pocket clip. I've never had a problem with this clip. It's on, I believe, the Kershaw Cryo, the Kershaw Shuffle, and a bunch of others. When mounted properly, it actually does very deep carry. It holds nice and secure, and it doesn't create a hot spot, at least on this knife. So I think this was a good choice. Black aluminum handles. These are anodized black. I believe it comes in, let's take a look just to be sure, red, green, and orange, and also black. The other colors just weren't doing it for me when I was shopping, and I bought this just before Christmas last year. Like I said, they just weren't doing it for me, so I went with another plain black knife. Oh no. Oh well. A good liner lock that's recessed into the aluminum, just like on the Blur. A couple of people have actually said they've had lock stick. This one is nice and smooth. I haven't had any lock stick yet. A good flipper that, honestly, it doesn't protrude out the back a whole bunch like some flippers are just obnoxious. This one is not. It's nice and rounded off too, so it's not sharp or anything. Just give it a little push, or you can light switch it because it is spring assisted, so it's going to open. Because of the flipper turning into a finger guard, that fixes the first problem. With the TrackTech inserts on the handle, I don't feel like I'm going to slide forward, even just with these two. But then now you get the jimping up there. Is a nice longer run of jimping, at least longer than the Blur, and it is also nice and deep and sharp. So this really locks your hand in, and I've had absolutely no sliding problems with this knife. This has really been a great one. This has been in my pocket since Christmas. I've carried this let's call it 70% of the time, at least until I got my newest CT, you know. What can I say? I like the Hinderer stuff. But like I said, I carried this a ton since Christmas, and this has been really great. A drop point blade. It is stone washed. Kind of hard to tell on my camera here. But it is Bowler N690. A lot of people have compared it to VG10, which for durability, I'm probably going to have to say it's pretty accurate, and sharpening purposes. Like I said, I've taken this and cut a lot with it. It's been in my pocket so much. I even took it on a little camping trip that I do every year, just as a nice little light folder. This worked great. Sharpened up very nicely too. I don't know if you'll be able to see the polish on this edge, but it's my crappy camera, but it doesn't look like it. Now, if you also, other people have made this point, I feel like I should too. If you look at the handle shape, it kind of looks like the Kershaw Knockout shape. Well, it's basically, if you take a Kershaw Knockout and a Kershaw Blur, and they had a baby, this is what that baby would be. A good blade steel, a good, not super thick blade, but very durable and still thin enough to be a good slicing blade. A nice angular handle. It's very comfortable. A good pocket clip. It fixed the problems with the Kershaw Knockout because it has the Track Tech inserts. This is just a great knife. And again, something, maybe, again, it's just corny or whatever, but I like to have American-made knives. Maybe it's a pride thing, but again, made in the USA. It's really just a nice little thing you can say. Thank you, Blade HQ, for actually getting an exclusive of this. I would love for this to become like a permanent, have a permanent place in the Kershaw catalog, or at least permanent with you guys. So, keep it, please. Please do whatever you gotta do. Alright, I'll show a couple size comparisons here, and we'll let you out. As always, first, the Benchmade Griptilian. This will have slightly longer blade, not by much though. This is a 3.45, this is a 3.5. Oh, by the way, overall length is 8 inches, and I wanted to get the weight, because the aluminum handle scales, it is only 4.2 ounces. So nice and light, really, really nice. But like I said, a little bit longer blade than the Griptilian, a little bit longer handle as well. Very, another EDC standard, this has absolutely become for me. Then, of course, the Blur here. This is a 3.37 inch blade, again 3.5, so it's going to have a longer blade. It's going to have a longer handle, definitely, too, and overall length, obviously. But then, the only knife that has been able to kick this one out of my pocket since I got it, this is the 0562 from ZT. I only had to, go from a 60, I got Blade HQ right here, $64.99 to $200. Thank you, Amazon discount, again. Like I said, should have right around the same blade length. They're both at 3.5. The ZT definitely has a longer handle, though. But yeah, no. This is called the Hinderer Slicer blade because it's got kind of a really high flat grind. This is a better slicer, I'm going to have to probably say, just because the blade stock is how much thinner. I think you can see that there. Yeah, I hope so. But like I said, this is probably a little bit better slicer knife, but, overall, great. If you see one and you want to buy it on the used market for maybe even a little bit less, go ahead. I would even recommend it still at the $64.99 price. I think this is completely worth it. It's only a couple bucks more than what you'd pay for a Blur, and a lot of people love the Blur. And I really think you will love this knife if you like the Blur or the Knockout. Alright, thanks guys. If you guys have any questions about the knife, please ask. Also, if you have any suggestions for knives for me that you think I might like and think I might want to review, please leave them down in the comments. And also, another little added thing. I just recently became engaged, so thank you. But I would like you guys to let me know, because I said to my girlfriend, where's my shiny thing? You get a ring. What shiny thing do I get? She said she'd buy me a pocket knife. So now I'm just sitting here rubbing my hands together looking evil, thinking, okay, what kind of knife can we go on here? I'm looking for something that's going to be nice looking And I don't know, just like I said, make some suggestions for me. If I hadn't just bought this one, I would be saying I want this. But I was kind of thinking the new Presidio from Benchmade. So if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Thanks, guys. Take care.